Good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday morning. Um, Today is September 29th, 2024. If you can believe that, end of September already. My name is Tina Bickford. I am from the Tatted Stamper. I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up, and we make cards. So welcome to my craft room. You may notice that the behind me is different than it was in the last couple of videos. I'm trying to figure out how to make my space usable, like that I really love using it. I have to use this is my craft room. It is also my home office for my 9 to 5 job. So I have to make it usable for both spaces. And yeah, so I'm working on it. If all goes to plan, if my plan works out, um, you won't see the same background next week either. So, um, yeah. So, um, welcome to my craft room anyway, in the mess that it is. And hopefully I can have this, I can have it figured out and working and great. And yeah. So if you are here live, watching me live, leave me a comment so I know you're here. I don't know who's watching unless you leave me a comment. Oh, good morning, Mom and Dad. Thank you for joining this week. Thank you. Oh, Michaela. Hi. Oh, Michaela, you're going to love the treats that I'm making. And hold on. Hold on. Ready? Ready? That's what it's going to have in it. Yay. Lisa, welcome. Good morning. Good morning. We are going to make some fun treats. Okay, so you guys, I'm going to show you really quick. I'm going to flip down to the desk cam. I'm pretty excited about this. So last week we did a birthday card using the Attention Shoppers bundle. And I thought, like some people just don't want to go through all of the bother of doing that, the shopping cart and whatever. I like doing it. I think it's super fun. Um, but maybe you want something a little more, um, just something simple. You need to do a really simple thank you card, get well card, birthday card, whatever. So I did a couple of other samples that I wanted to show you before we get into the treat holders that I'm also super excited about. Oh, and the voting was in. Let me see. It was the Cauldron, hands down, was the first, the number one, and then there was actually a tie between the Black Cat and Count Dracula. So we're gonna do those three, and if I can just get my stuff together here and get it all, get those three done in a timely fashion and stop talking, blah, blah, blah. We're going to do more than three. We're going to do more than three. And I may have some that you didn't see yet because I just went crazy. Halloween's not even my jam, but for some reason these things were super cute. And once I got started doing one, I just had to keep going. So let's just go down to the desk cam real quick. You're tired of looking at me already. So let's just go down to the desk cam. So last week we actually made this card using the Attention Shoppers bundle. And we did that with that really, my favorite embossing folder, the dotted circles. Love it, love it, love it. And then just with the shopping cart. And it's great. It's pretty. But not everybody wants to go through all that. Maybe you want something just a little simpler. This is actually the one we made. This was my sample one. This is the one we made. Just the colors weren't backwards. And then, just we went through some of the other examples that I made with the different embossing folders. This one's with the So Swirly, but basically the same thing. Some muted colors so that maybe if you didn't want something so bright or pink or, you know, whatever. This one had some books in it. And then this one. So then I thought, so these all have the shopping cart. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe people don't want to do that. You just want to do something really simple. So I did this one where all I did was I just took a blending brush and I just blended a circle of the Granny Apple Green. And I stamped 2 bags in the background and did one bag that I die cut out and popped up on dimensionals. You can see that. Popped it up on dimensional. Gives it a little bit of dimension. And just, this is a thank you card. So then I did the same thing for a birthday card. Just some swiping of some ink. I think this was Highland Heather and Balmy Blue and Granny Apple Green. And just real simple. Like I didn't even do any. I colored a little bit on the candles, and that was it. But no other stamping or coloring. Just black, and they're all blank inside. And then I had to do one a little bit more fancy. So I did this one. This is on Balmy Blue. So there's a Balmy Blue layer, and then a white layer with the cute crochet embossing folder. And I actually did this one. I flipped it over and used the back side of the cute crochet because I just wanted something a little bit, you know, more low profile. Did a little bit of blending around this layer, stamped and colored the bag, stamped and die cut the flowers, and just glued that one on there, and then did the same for the bottle of wine, but I popped that one up on dimensionals. So there's that. So you have some other options for the Attention Shoppers bundle. All right. Let's get down to the treats. So this is the Cauldron that we did. Now my camera is a little bit further away from the desktop because I'm gonna try to show you how to actually like roll these through the cut and emboss machine, and it just needs to be up a little bit to do that. So we are using the Potions and Spells bundle. Right now the dies for this set are sold out, and they're expected back the week of October 7th. So we're going to use that. So for this one right here, we're using this stamp set here. We're going to use the Cauldron die, and we're going to use these bubbles here. So let's just get right to it. All right, so I cut all of my supplies already. Let me just move that out of the way. So the main piece to this, the part that's going to make the box in the back, this piece is 2.5 inches by 6.5 inches. And we're going to score that. Okay, let me get my paper trimmer here. And it's the same box for all of these that I made. It's the same dimensions. Everything's the same thing. All right, so we're going to take this 2.5 by 6.5. We're going to score it at 1/2 inch. So I prefer to use this the right side of the cutting channel when I'm doing smaller scoring sections. So 1/2 inch there. And then I'm just going to turn it around. It's easier to hold the paper than it is trying to hold 1/2 inch this way. So 1/2 inch. And then we're going to go up to the 2 3/4 inch mark. Morning, Aunt Judy. And then we're going to go to the 3.5 inch there. And then we're going to go all the way over to the 5 3/4, just like that. And that's all the scoring on the long side. And then we're just going to rotate it, and it doesn't matter which way. We're going to rotate it, and we're going to just score again at 3/4 of an inch. Make sure I have that lined up right. All right, and there we go. So that is what we have. We're going to do this same exact thing for all of these boxes. They're all going to be exactly the same. So what we're going to do here is we're going to fold and we're going to burnish all of these score lines. Okay. Bone folder, my bone folder. I'm just going to burnish these really good. Want my box to have nice crisp edges. I'm going to do that. Okay. So on this small end, I know it's hard to see because it's black. On the small end here, the 1/2 inch, we're going to cut this little rectangle corner piece out like so. And then this is going to be a tab that we use to glue the box together. Any of my tabs, I'd like to do little angle cuts on those. It makes the box sit a little bit better. And then we're going to come in the bottom, this 3/4 inch section on the bottom here. And we're just going to cut up on all of these score lines, these remaining 3 score lines. And then these 2 smaller sections here and here, these are the tabs that are going to fold in. So the same thing here, I'm going to just do an angle cut, and it does not matter. They don't even have to be even. Just want little angle cuts. It just gives that tab a little bit of extra space to tuck in, is a little less bulk. So that is what you end up with. Okay. So then we are just going to take can I just show off my cute glue holder? Absolutely love this. Love, love. All right. So, and I got that from a company called the Country Hive. It is 3D printed. It is, so shout out to them. Love it, love it. So I'm just putting glue on this little 1/2 inch tab. I'm going to fold this over, and I'm just folding it just on that next score line. I'm just folding it over, and then I'm just going to take this last section and fold it over, and it meets perfectly right there. Okay. Now I'm going to take those 2 side tabs. I'm going to fold those in. I'm going to fold 1 tab in there. A little bit of glue on there. Like that. And fold that last one in. And we'll just give that a second for the glue to hold. All right. Let's make the fun part of this. Okay. So we're going to do a little bit of stamping for this one. So let's get my Memento black ink. And I have got the little bubbles, and I've got my double toil and treble on the side. I like to put both stamps on my block at a time. It just saves, I don't know what it does. I feel like it's doing something. So, all right. So I'm going to take this piece here. I didn't give you the dimensions for this. So most of what we're doing today, if the die you're using fits on a piece of paper, then your paper is big enough. So that's all we were doing. So this one right here is 3 1/4 by 2 1/2. This is going to be the one we cut the cauldron out. And this one, we're going to be stamping and die cutting this and the ooze and a couple of bubbles. So this one measures 2 1/2 by 3. Okay. So I'm going to take my bubbles on my Memento black ink pad. Just going to do that. And I'm going to do it on the smaller side, on the narrower side, just because I've got other things that I want to fit on there to die cut. So I'm just going to give that a little bit of pressure, hold it for a second so that we get that. Let me just clean a little bit of ink off of that, because if I don't, you guys know me by now, I'm going to be covered in ink. So, all right. So I'm going to just give these bubbles a little bit of dimension. I'm going to do that using my Granny Apple Green blending pens, blending markers. And all I'm going to do, I'm going to take, you get the light and the dark. I'm just going to take the light because I'm going right over the same color paper. And I'm just going to highlight a little bit on some of these bubbles, just like this. I'm not getting crazy about it, just doing that. Okay. All right. So there's that. That one we're going to have to fussy cut because there is not a die for that, but I am going to get my die for my ooze, and we're going to do a couple of bubbles. So we're going to do these little small ones here that are on this one. All right. And, oh, and the cauldron. We need the cauldron, Tina. We need the cauldron. So I'm going to do all of those. All right. So I'll just move some of this stuff out of my way. And I am going to bring in my stamp, cut, and emboss machine. Let me just raise that camera up a little bit. There. Okay. All right. So when you get this, it packs up nice and compact. So I like that. This opens. And when you first get this, the handle's not on it. You do have to assemble the handle to it, but I would rather have that than have my handle break off during shipping for some reason. All right, so to do the dies, we need the base plate 1, just this one here, and we need plate number 2, and then we're going to need both of our number 3 plates. One of these is really bad, and the other one's getting just as bad. I have some on order. They haven't arrived yet. All right, so we're going to put, I'm going to lay the black one on there. I'm going to put that cauldron right on there. It just barely fits on this. So I'm just going to keep that in place with some washi tape. I am going to put my green, my Granny Apple Green on here. I'm going to lay that ooze on. Oops, push this down a little bit. And then for this one right here, I only want these two. So I'm just going to come in and put it just like this. And it's all right if it cuts partial on one of the bigger ones. I just want to make sure I'm getting the 2 smaller bubbles. All right. Lay the plate on and roll that through. Okay. Come on. Just like so. This out of the way. So what we have is our cauldron. We have our ooze and our bubbles. Let's set these dies aside. And then we have to fussy cut that. Let me just get these guys off. When your cutting plate gets to, to this point, it some of the paper bits want to stick to it. So I just take your pick tool and I just get that, geez. The washi tape stuck to my cauldron, but it's not going to matter. It ripped a little bit, but it's not going to matter because I'm going to put the ooze there anyway. So, all right. Move all of this aside here. All right, so for my ooze and for my bubbles, I do want to give these a little bit of dimension also. So I'm going to grab my Granny Apple and just come in here. I'm going to just use my take your pick tool so that I can hold it while I just come in here. And it looks really dark when you're doing it like this, but I'll show you. You can actually see it looks really dark on here. looks really dark when you put it on there like that, but you can see how it really lightened up on here. So that will, as the alcohol starts to evaporate, it will lighten up. So I'm going to do the same thing on my ooze. I'm just going to come in and on my ooze, right, just along like the edges here, just like that. That's good. All right, and the fussy cutting. I am not a fan of fussy cutting. I don't love it. So when I stamped this, I did not stamp it right on the end. It's because I'm going to need some paper down here, some cardstock that I can glue this to. So I'm just going to come in here, and if you listen to any crafter that does any fussy cutting at all, will tell you it is easier to move your paper around than your scissors. So you can see I'm just moving my paper, and I'm not getting all of the bubbles, and that's all right because I don't feel like cutting around those, and that's all right. And we'll do this, and we're just going to grab this bubble and move it here, and then straight down. So there we have all of those. Let me just lower this. Let's see. All right. All right. So now I'm going to take my glue, and I'm going to put a little bit of glue just on the edge there and pop my bubbles onto my cauldron. And then I'm going to flip over my ooze here and just put some glue on this one. And I'm just going to line this up with the top, so it looks like the ooze is coming right out. And then for the words, I am going to use, I don't even know, I can't even tell you how long I've had this. So this is just, it's a pigment ink. It's reflective. So it's like, so see, it doesn't look like it's green. It's going to be green. It's going to be super cool. Almost like it's a mica powder, mica. I'll show you. You'll see. You'll see. So I'm just going to tap, 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 tap all over. And I'm going to come in here and right there. Just hold it for a minute. Oops. First. Good thing it fell on there. So I don't know if you can see. That didn't really. Now right here, I don't think I can line that back up either. So that's all right. That is all right. You put that, cover that. All right. So then I want to add a couple of bubbles. And the way I find this easiest is add these right to the cauldron. I pick them up with the putty end of my take your pick tool and just lay them on there. Just like so. A little too much glue on that one. I don't know what is going on with me today. So I just like to take a little tissue and just dab and just dab just like that. Then we're going to just bring our box back, and it doesn't matter which side you glue this to. You're just going to come in here and put all kinds of glue on there and line this up at the bottom, kind of centered. I flip it over and just stick my fingers in the box and just give it a little press to help that glue. Just like so. And then we're going to take our Reese's peanut butter cup and pop that in just like that. And there you go. There's the cauldron. Not a fan of how it rips the paper, and it didn't, my stamping didn't come out as good as my sample did. But you know what? That's all right. That's all right. So that is our cauldron. Let's go to, how about we do the black cat? The black cat is next. All right. So with the black cat, there's a few more things here. All right. All right, so there's no stamping with the black cat. So with the cat, you'll notice his eyes are green, but there's white in the center. Oh, actually, in order to do that, we actually have to do one of the other ones first, because that's how I'm going to get those little white bits. So let's just set him aside and do a Count Dracula. Okay. Count Dracula. Again, I cut all of my pieces ahead of time because I'm hoping to be able to do more than 3 of these things. Okay. So with the Count Dracula, the box that I put him in is purple. So same thing. This is our 2.5 by 6.5, and we are going to score it at a 1/2 inch. So I'm lining that up with a 1/2 inch mark here, score. And then I'm going to go to the 2 3/4 inch, and then to the 3.5, and then the 5 3/4. Rotate it, and 3/4 or 3/4. Okay. And then we're going to do some snipping. This one's a little bit easier to see that piece. So I'm going to cut that piece. We're going to remove that, but we're also going to angle this. So I'm just going to do that cut right at the same time. Save a cut. And then I'm going to come up here, angle, come up here, angle. I didn't cut that very straight. Remove these little tabs. Here, angle, and angle. Like that, like so. All the cutting done. Quick, 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 quick. And then folding, folding, folding on everything. Quick burnish on all of those score lines. So, all right. If you have it like this, where this little 1/2 inch tab is on this side, and you fold it in half, but fold it on that second score like this, you're going to have the little 1/2 inch tab, and then you're going to have the 3/4 inch side here. So this is where you add glue to that tab, and then just fold over that side, just like that. Press it. Give it a minute. And then fold in those 2 side tabs. Fold in one of the end tabs, a little bit of glue on there. And then I like to just press. So just put a little bit of pressure on the inside there, just like that. And then we're going to set this box aside, let that glue dry while we do our cutting. All right. So for the count, again, I didn't do any measurements here that were like, because a lot of this is just going to be like for scrap piece. So this is the piece that I'm going to use for his little cape. So this piece measures 1.5 by 3.25. And then this is the piece I'm going to use to actually cut him. So that's 3 by 2.5. And then these pieces, these are just scrap pieces that I'm going to use for die cutting the eyes and the mouth. Okay. And then we got to get those eyebrows. All right. So what I did for these, I just wanted to, just wanted to have a scrap big enough to cut all of those. So I just grabbed, that's 2 by 2, and this is 2 1/8 by 1.5. And again, those two, they're just scrap pieces. Okay. So I am going to bring my die cutting machine back up. I'm going to do this off the camera so that I have a little more room here. Okay. All right, so I'm going to take this guy and set him up here. I'll do it right on my plate here. Oops. Okay. I'm going to try the washi again. Hopefully that doesn't, we'll do the washi like that. Okay. And then for this one, we're going to need, oops, sorry. Let me just grab those dies here. So what we're going to need for him, for his eyes, we're going to need this die here. And then we're going to need the bigger bubble circle die and this one. So we're going to get this individual one and this one are the same size. So we're going to get 2 whites of his eyes here, and then the black's going to be there. Now, this one has some paper still stuck in it, so I just want to get that out. Okay. So I'm going to take the white. I'm going to put the white down here. The black up here. The white, I want just that end one. So I'm just going to put the end one there. And I'm going to also put that one there. You just want to make sure that your dies are not stacked up. And then I'm using just this circle die. This is, let's see, about 7/8 of an inch. And I use this for his mouth. So on this one, I cut his mouth out of this circle out of black, and then I drew his fangs on. But I found a better way to do it that I liked better. So I'm just going to roll all of this through. Might hear some cracking and some popping. There. Right. Just come back. So we're going to get his eyes. All right. So with the eyes, this one, all right. You just get his mouth and the blacks of his eyes there. For the whites of his eyes, you're going to see you get these little bits that it cut out. We're going to save those because we're going to actually put those into the cat's eyes. Okay. So just going to move these gently. Use my take your pick tool to move that right out of the way, just like that. All right. So the one last thing with his mouth, I want to cut another one of these, but out of white. So I'm just going to move that over. And I'm just going to roll this white one through really quick. Okay. Yep. All right. Move this out of the way. All right. So for his move all this out. Okay. All right. The black, the eyebrows. So the eyebrows, that's all I did was fussy cut some eyebrows. And it was just whatever my whatever I felt like. So what I did was I just cut like a little triangle off of a piece of scrap, and they don't even have to be even. And then that's all I did was I just came in here and cut up and then cut up so that I had just a little, so this is what I had left. And then I just gave him a little eyebrow trim, square him off. That's all I did. That's how I made the eyes, the eyebrows. We're just going to come in here, do that, and that. So another eyebrow there. All right, for his mouth, what I wanted to do with his mouth, I took both of these. These are going to be layered. The black one and the white one are going to be layered. So I put them together. I want them to be exactly the same. So I put them together, and then I just snipped them off, not in the center. So a larger piece and then a smaller piece. And we're going to just take the larger piece. And what I did with the black one is I just came in and cut little fangs. Oh, Lord. Just like that. And then when you layer those two together, it will give the appearance of having fangs. And I liked this a lot better. All right, so we're going to start layering some stuff. And remember, keep those little white bits for the cat. All right, move this stuff out of the way. All right, let's put his eyes together. You don't need the little bits that are in the blacks of his eyes. We'll just poke those out. All right. Oh, I didn't give this eyebrow a trim. He really would be lopsided with his eyebrows. All right. So for his cape, the cape, I didn't do anything like super fancy. What I did was I came in probably about 1/4 of an inch on each side, and I just cut right up to the corner. That's all I did. I just wanted to give it a little bit of an angle behind him. So that's that. All right, that. Let's put this guy together. Okay, so to put the eyes together, I'm going to get my take your pick tool because that is easiest for me, my little putty end. I'm just taking my glue, my multi-purpose glue, and I'm just putting a tiny dab. I wasn't really very tiny, but tiny dab there. Taking the black part of my take your pick tool, and I'm going to layer that on. I'm going to cover that white cutout in the white part of his eye and just layer the black one on top. So that's all I am doing. Just like that. Just, oh, move to that one. Okay. Just like that. All right. And then, again, for this, I found the easiest thing for building him up was putting the glue right on him and then popping the eyes on. And I put so that the whites of the eyes were pointing in the same direction. You can do anything you want. You can make this guy cross-eyed if you want or whatever. All right. For his eyebrows, just little teeny tiny dabs of glue, which I'm not doing because I'm in a hurry because I want to make more. All right. And I just plop those on and too much glue. So dab and then pick up this eyebrow. There and there. And put this eyebrow on him. Dab. And then for the mouth, I'm gonna put the mouth together real quick. Layer these two. I'm just spreading that glue around on there. And I'm just gonna layer the white and the black together, nice and even. just like that. So it gives the appearance of having fangs. And then for his mouth, I wanted his mouth to be crooked, just like that. I'm really heavy hand. Well, so the multi-purpose glue that I'm using, it's a new bottle, so it's very I don't know, not juicy, but you know. Well, let's get the box back, and we're going to take now his cape. I'm going to put glue on the box, and I'm going to put his cape on first. And just give that glue a second to set. And then I'm going to come on the cape and then put him on here, like so. And then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to flip him over and just give him a press on the inside and let that glue dry. And there's our Count Dracula. And your Reese's, it's right in there. So that's the count. How is everybody doing so far? Everybody hanging in? Are you guys liking these? Loving them? Okay, let's do the cat. Cruising right along. All right, so for the cat, we have got the same dimensions. We've got our 2.5 by 6.5. We're going to score this in the same way. And we've got this piece that we're going to die cut the cauldron from 3.25 by 2.5. And then we have some other, these are all literally scrap pieces that I'm using to cut his eyes out, and then mouth, and that's it. So let's get to it. Get my cutter. We'll score this at the half, and then at the 2 3/4, 3.5, and then 5 3/4. Rotate and 3/4. Okay. All right. So I'm going to just cut this first, and it's all the same. It's done exactly the same. Angle, cut, angle, cut, angle, cut, angle, angle. There. I'm going to poke my eyes out with these scissors if I don't put them down. All right, so, oh, I almost swept those away. All right, let's give these a fold. Quick burnish. Okay. And a little bit of glue on that 1/2 inch tab. Hold that over. Give that glue a second. And then we're going to fold in those 2 side tabs. Fold in 1 tab there. And so I'm holding this with both of my fingers here to hold these even when I put the glue on, and then folds that last tab over so that everything is even. It doesn't slide and be, wonky. And then just give that a little press. Set that aside. And we're going to do some die cutting. All right. Cat. Get his little head in here. Here is, we'll just hold that steady. All right, so for the mouth, for the cat, we're going to come in here. The die that I'm going to use is this one right here. Okay. This is actually supposed to be the liquid that goes in this bottle, but we're going to use it for a mouth. Okay. His mouth is going to be red, cherry cobbler. His eyes, so the big part of his eyes, we're using that one individual one and then this one to get the green of his eyes. And then we want the black of his eyes. Yeah, just like that. I'm going to roll this through. Oh, we got stuff flying everywhere. Oops. Oh, hold on. Sorry. I had some dies just slipped on me because I didn't have them secured with washi tape, which you don't have to do, but roll that through. And then we have all of it. Okay, so we have our cat's head. Get all of these off. Okay. All right, so then we have the green of his eyes. There's the greens. And there's the blacks. And there's his mouth. Yeah. All right, and then we're just going to put this guy together. All right, so for him, the eyes go together the exact same. So for me, I found it was easiest to put the little cutout to the left, add the little dot of glue, and then position the cutout of the black to the right. So I knew that I was covering that up. Now I am going to, because I am terrible today with this glue, I'm going to get my little precision tip and I'm going to just put a little tiny dab in this. I'm going to get the glue flowing first. Little tiny dab of glue in there that's going to help hold that white in. And then I am going to use my take your pick tool and plop that in. Turn it the right way. There. The right way. And plop that in. Just like that. Okay. Now, right on here, his eyes and his mouth. And I'm just going to just like this. And the cat, I wanted his mouth to be straight because we are going to draw some whiskers. So for him, I just used just a silver gel pen and I just came in here, outlined his ears just a little bit, and then just whiskers. Okay. Grab the box. This guy was super fast. And just pop him right on. And then just same thing, flip him right over and do this. Give that glue a little chance to set. And there you go. There's the cat. There's the cat. All right, let's see. So those were the three. What have we got? We've got like 10 minutes left of the hour. So I'm going to show you. All right, we're going to do, so one of the votes was, well, it wasn't an option, but Donnie voted for a bat. So I said, well, let's do a bat. Oh my God, look at this. Isn't he amazing? Okay. So I'm actually just going to talk you through what to do with these ones because we've only got 10 minutes. So I want to show you the others. So basically what I did here is I cut the cauldron. So I die cut the cauldron. Okay. And then his eyes, I did his eyes exactly the way I did the cat's eyes, but just with yellow. And then for his mouth, I used this die, which is supposed to be handles for the cauldron. So I used this die and I just cut it off so that it was just a little smile. For his wings, I cut a second cauldron and I cut the cauldron right in half. So this is the cauldron here, just cut in half and then glued to the back. And same thing, he's just on that same, the box has the same exact dimension. So there's a bat. And then, his wings, I also did his wings in the So Swirly embossing folder just to give them a different texture from his body. That was my thought there. And then you all saw the witch. So the witch, and this was, so for the witch, I just took I'm running out of space here. All right. So I just took, so for these dies, this is the broom and the broom handle. And this is supposed to be like liquid pouring out of one of these bottles. So when you're doing, like if you were to do, say, the cauldron with, like this, and like one of the bottles like this, that's, basically how it would be, right? So it would look like that. So I used this little end here for her nose. And her eyes are just done with the white and then the black, the two little smaller bubbles. Her hair, I did it in a gray cardstock that I had. Her hat, her witch's hat, is actually done from, this is actually a Christmas tree die. I did roll this one because I thought her hat would look kind of cute rolled. So I did that. And then the brim of her hat is actually just, this is the broom handle for this. It's just a broom handle. I wanted this end right here, the broom handle. So I just did two of these and just cut them to the length I needed so that I could fit them to that. So that's the witch. And her mouth, I did the same way I did Dracula, and I did little cutouts, two on the top and one on the bottom for her teeth. Now, I happen to have this punch that is, you can't really see it very well. It's like a, I don't know if you can see if I can show you that. It's like a rectangle. Excuse me. I used that and I actually punched the top and the bottom, which just made it a little bit easier for me. Okay, so that's the witch. All right, so the witch you saw, and you saw the other ones, and you saw Frankenstein. Frankenstein's pretty self-explanatory. He's the cauldron upside down, and the ooze, the black ooze. The mouth is the same as the cat. And then his two little neck bolts here that's that same die that I used for the bat's mouth. Excuse me. I just used the ends instead of, the loop. Okay. So you saw him. Same. Okay. And then another one that you did not see is I did a mummy. Look. Oh my God. Isn't he cute? So for the mummy, I just did the mummy in gray. I cut half, so the cauldron is underneath of there. You can't really see it. but I cut 1/2 inch strips and I blended them with some gray granite ink. And I just did, I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 strips. And I just kind of laid them on there different ways. And then I just kind of trimmed around the way that I wanted them. Popped his eyes and mouth up using dimensionals. Little hashtags on him, just using a black marker. Same here. And same with the witch for her little warts. So there is the mummy. And then one last one. I did a ghost. Oh my God, you guys. Is he not the cutest ghost ever? So this ghost, I actually used their dies called Nested Essentials, which is this shape here. And then I used another die called this guy, I didn't use the Cauldron. He's the only one I didn't use the Cauldron for because I couldn't figure out how to get a ghost out of the Cauldron. I wasn't loving it. I just wasn't loving it. So for him, I had the Nested Essentials dies. So that's these Nested Essentials. And I just used it's the third one, from the smallest up. It's the third one or the second from, here. I used that. And then what I did after I cut that shape, I used my basic borders dies. So my basic borders dies, I just took, let me get it. I just took this one and I cut off the bottom to give him just a little squiggly bottom. That's how I did that. And I did this little stamp here is from Spotlight on Nature. And it's just, so the Spotlight on Nature die set is just, so you wouldn't think that this would, you could use this for Halloween anything, but it's this one right here. So that is the ghost. So let me just bring all of those, get all of this out of the way. I was hoping to actually be able to demonstrate these ones, but that's all right. You guys got to see them. This is all of them. Aren't they the cutest? Oh, are they all in there? They're not. Okay, hold please. Hold please. Get these guys up there. It's this bat. It's the bat. He's trying to steal the show. There. That's all of them. Aren't they cute? I think the ghost and the mummy are really kind of my favorites. Those two, and I'm really loving the bat. So let me just flip my camera back to me. Here I am. Yay. Okay. So I don't treat, I'm going to eat some of these treats. So I'm not going to have treats to give to everybody in these. Maybe I'll just give them some empty ones. So anyway, that's your Halloween treat box. Make it fun. Give the kids something fun. I hope you all really loved them. Yeah. So let me know what you think about them. If you come back and watch the replay, let me know if you like them. If you have the stuff and you make them, post pictures on make a comment on the video and let me know how yours came out. If you have any other character ideas, you want to throw them my way and see if I can figure out how to make it, that would be pretty cool too. All right. Yeah. Well, I hope you all have a good Sunday and a good week next week. And all right, I will see you guys next week.